another build that we built on a semi-budget here that can actually do some pretty good work early on in some of the new level 85 areas is the Volcano Druid. We basically use 3 main attacks, right? We have Armageddon for when monsters get close. We kind of cast this almost like Ellie Druids do Hurricane. So we max that out. We max Kano, we max Fissure, and we max Moulton Boulder, because it gives additional physical damage to our Volcano, which is very important for a diversified series of elements that you can attack with, or in this case, physical damage. Basically what we do is we walk around, we have Armageddon active, and we keep switching back and forth between Kano and Fissure, right? Both of these are pretty heavy hitting fire spells, and you can cast them from a distance, which is really good. So if you have these new areas such as the Icy Cellar that don't have a lot of natural fire immunes in them, this is an incredible build for an area like that. And those are our main attacks. That's basically what we did with the skills. We do have a little bit left over. What we did was we just put the rest of our points into Oak Sage. Now, that's because in this PTR on Battle.net, we only have a Phase Blade to make a Spirit in. So we have to dump a lot of points into Dexterity just to wear this. So just know that when the patch drops and you find yourself a 4-socket Crystal Sword to do this with, this will be a lot better. You'll have a little bit more life. Also in the PTR, the Anya quests don't work. So we stacked out our inventory with a few faster, all res +5 charms here. And then the gear kind of looks like this. We just have Spirit, Dual Spirits. We have Jalal's main, pretty budget. This is not so easy to acquire early on, but you should be able to get a bad one for pretty cheap within the first few days of a ladder reset. I actually don't think you need the cast really on this. Just aim for something with 2 Druid skills. And then we have Caster Rings. We just have a string of ears here for the belt. For the gloves, we have Mage Fists. These fire skills definitely boost up Fissure, Armageddon, basically everything we use. And then we have Alder's Boots for the rest of our gear. We do have a Merc for this build as well. And I just kind of threw some temp gear on her here. This is a Insight bow. We can make Insight in a bow in this new patch, which I absolutely love. Makes the Act 1 Merc way more viable. We put Duriel Shell on the Merc, and then we have Peasant Crown. This is just some of the weird uniques that we have at our disposal on the PTR. Now, after you put enough points into Dexterity to wear your Spirit Phase Blade on Battle.net here, we put 156 points into Strength to wear Spirit, and everything else goes into Vitality. Now, on the swap, I do have a Nausea Puzzler for teleport charges. I think that's it's a very common item to get early on, very useful, very cheap, and just allows you to get to target areas such as the Icy Cellar. Now, that's where we're going to go now. I do like to keep Armageddon up. It's a really good protective skill as you're teleporting around. But also, this skill actually does some serious damage. So we're going to look for the Icy Cellar here. And once we find it, we'll show you what this build looks like in one of the new level 85 areas. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. Kind of right on par with a Sin, to be completely honest, with a Fire Sin. Both of these characters very good in this area. Don't want to hit that shrine. And the cool thing that I like about this build, right, as opposed to, let's say, like a Ellie Druid from years past, right, where we have to use Tornado, is you have some serious distance. You have some serious distance for your casts on these guys, on this character right here. Now, you saw me also just throw Moulton Boulder here. That's actually still a pretty devastating skill. I just have it on left click because you can't really put any of our other skills on left click. So this is kind of the most meaningful skill in case I accidentally left click on something. It throws a Moulton Boulder at him, which is pretty sick. It actually, as you can see, does some damage right there. This Druid, basically you're just going to be swapping back and forth between Volcano and Fissure, making sure to keep your Cyclone Armor active and your Oak Sage. And this build just tears it up, man. Some of these minions, though, will kind of just run all around. You can kind of name lock them if you want. Keep your distance. There's a lot of ways to engage them, but you don't necessarily have to stay close, which is really cool. You can cast from a distance. And I think on a budget, on an early ladder reset, having a level 85 area to farm on a budget like this that you can do safely at a distance is pretty crucial. I like it because it's not so much of like a piano build. You really only just have like a couple of skills that you're swapping back and forth between. Like I said, you do kind of have to keep Cyclone armor up and your Armageddon. But for the most part, you're just walking around swapping back and forth between a couple of different skills. So it's not like too difficult to learn, like to get used to for a new build. But it's just super effective. And then you have sometimes these fish in a barrel moments right here where you can like just trap monsters on the other side of a wall or something, or the other side of a river, and just cook them. And there's nothing they can do. And that's always good, especially for leveling early on, for finding the high runes, for finding the GGs in this level 85 area. Yeah, this is a great build for this area. This can also do Abbadon, which is one of the new level 85 areas, which does have, you know, sporadically has physical immunes and fire immunes in it. Hello. But this build can actually take on that area too. So I'm just going to do a quick run here just to show like the power level of this Kano Druid. I'll kind of show you what that looks like. They do have like Stygian dolls in here. These guys do hit pretty hard. Those little horror, not horror archers, but the Hell Temptresses actually do hit pretty hard. But the cool thing is you can kind of keep your distance as well. Like they're gonna shoot you from a distance, but the cool thing about this build is you can do that too. You know, you're not really confined to getting up close, throwing a NATO, you know, getting up close and personal with these guys. You can kind of take it easy from a distance. You know, keep your distance, stay safe. And this build just levels, man. Even on a budget, just levels these new level 85 areas. No, we lost our Merc. Oh shit, the guy's right there. Poison is kind of a big thing in this area. You may actually benefit from sucking down some antidote potions. Like, I'm not really sure why the poison does so much damage. I'm not sure if it's supposed to or whatnot, but like, look at this. I mean, we have 66 poison res. Like, I'm not really sure why we're taking that much damage with poison. It seems a little ridiculous if you ask me. Like, the poison might be bugged in that area. Like, that is so much poison. It's a poisonous area. And as you can see, this guy tears up quite a few of the new level 85 areas. I'm actually a big fan of this. You know, it's a lot different than Tornado Druid, what we're used to early on, but this thing has some serious potential. The other cool thing is, if you're just kind of building this build as you're going through the game, it's actually really good for that as well. You know, there's a lot of power in this build right here. I absolutely love it. This is definitely one of the builds I would suggest for early ladder farming.